top sports where the takes don't miss. The prof with the stats, the champ with the fist. Swore to bring in fire, cowboy, tie, riding bold. Calling bets, watch the stories unfold. And it's truly eyebrows running the show.
Well, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of High Top Sports. Happy Tuesday, happy to see you. I know a lot of you guys were stressing whether or not I was able to get it. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. It was weird. I couldn't hear the intro music. Stressing whether or not I could get the W done last night in fantasy football, and I'd like to make sure you guys are all aware and all know that Bijan came through. Bijan had a miracle. I mean, it's the type of game that you wish about. 40 points. He breaks off for a 93-yard touchdown run. And I was still sweating even after that, but I was able to pull it through and go back-to-back. We have a fantasy football league. So a lot of people were in the comments section saying, hey, how's it going? Which is pretty cool. But, man, I mean, you want to talk about just having yourself a night, boys. I was having some fun. I was rocking and rolling. But enough about me. We were doing the call-ins on Thursday, but the holidays the last 2 weeks kind of throw some things off. I don't think anybody's going to wake up Thursday morning ready to have a talk. All right, let's just be honest. And we've had a lot move since we talked last week with the fans. A lot of people have, in the comment section, opinions about how things are going, and I always enjoy talking with you guys. So this morning, we got Cody the Possum Slayer with us here. We're going to do our call-in show. All right, so get your butts in here. Let's chit-chat about it. We'll let Cody go first. Obviously, he hadn't got a chance to talk about Jaden Woods leaving us just yet. Although there are some reports, he could swing back around, which is possible. But we're 2 days away from this thing busting wide open, and there's still some key guys that have not signed just yet. Obviously, Kim Coleman's a big one. Pete Nako's dropped an article about it's kind of unfortunate, like the top guys in the portal, right? Like Kim Coleman right now is looking like Texas Tech. Chaz Coleman is an Ohio State lock. Sam Levitt looks like he's going to LSU possibly or one more school. Drew Metzmaker is Texas or Oklahoma State. Those are some targets there. Brent Sorsberry is a Texas Tech lock, basically, and then we had Aaron Philo to Florida. That was the update on the bigger names in the portal. So a lot of great talent. Dylan Raiola was not a name that I didn't see anything about. Oh, and then Byron Brown off to Auburn, who is in complete shambles at the moment. So, thoughts, Prof?
On the Woods thing, I know he was a bright spot, but, I mean, he's definitely replaceable. Put up 2.5 sacks last season. That's something that we can definitely replace. They want to keep him. They have offered him money. I don't know if it's a money thing. I don't know if it's a homesick thing. I mean, he is from Kansas. That's a heck of a travel. I know with flights and everything, but if he's not close to an airport, you're driving 2-3 hours to an airport. I mean, it just takes your toll on you. And we got to remember these are 19, 20, 21-year-old kids, so there is that too. I think you can definitely go find somebody in the portal. We've seen it before where players have circled back and decided not to enter the portal. I think that's a possibility also. Somebody's asking how did Bro get a new agent before resigning? They can get new agents whenever they want or why. I have my theories. I've been told I'm wrong on that, on the whole agent thing with Dallas Wilson. But I don't know. But nobody knows. Some people think they know, but nobody knows why he got a new agent.
Yeah, I mean, so Dallas Wilson obviously was working with VB3's father, and obviously it dropped him and goes with another agency. Whether that's concerning or not, there was reports that it was, a conflicting interest, I guess, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense because he already had him last year. So what changed from last year to this year with making it conflicting? Doesn't make any sense. But the new agency isn't really like surprising nor concerning. I mean, who was it? Pop Howard just had one. I mean,
he also gone too. Pop Howard.
Yeah, he is gone. Look, I have no idea. Like, I mean, I don't know what it implies, but I think these guys are big time wide receivers, big time talent, and they're able to, it's representation. They want to make sure they're the best possible.
I think people need to brace themselves that there could be a possibility that Dallas, Ball, and Woods are all gone. I think that's a realm that we should definitely talk about. It's definitely a possibility. But that's also kind of what we signed up for. This team went 4-8. That's not acceptable at the University of Florida. And I'm going to tell you guys this. It doesn't matter who we lose.
Careful. What are we doing? Golly. Thank you, buddy.
It doesn't matter who we lose. They're not bigger than the logo. That's this logo here. Okay. Those guys behind me, great Gators. Harris, Spikes, Tim Tebow, Danny Warfel over here. I got Percy Harvin signed one. Great Gators. Love them. Not a single one's bigger than the logo. Okay. There are still going to be statues built for Heisman quarterbacks. There are still going to be future bricks being laid for All-Americans. Those guys, if they decide to leave, they decide to leave.
He's like a boomer. Yeah, look, I mean that's I love the speech.
I mean, we've lost great coaches. Urban Meyer left, Steve Spurrier left. It's one of those things where, listen, the Florida Gators are still going to roll on with or without you.
We got the Press Gator fan calling in. I'm sitting one next to one now. The Press Gator fan. Oh, he just left. Be sure to click the link in the chat.
He hopped in the transfer portal.
Yeah, he heard you whining.
I'm not whining. I'm being real.
Click the link. Yeah, look, we're old men living in a new era. I think that's the big thing, man. Because the part that I counter to that is like we say, hey, true Gators, but who like Aiden Mizell wanted to be a Gator, but nobody called the guy. So is that on Aiden Mizell or is that on us? Like I think that's the part that gets overlooked. It's that, and we talked about it perfectly last night. Like when both parties committed years ago, both of you were basically on the hook. That isn't the case anymore. So we can't hold these guys to the standard of like, oh, they don't want to be a Gator. Well, if
I'm not mad at them.
If your ass sucks, we don't want you to be a Gator anyways.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
it's the standard.
That's the only thing is like it is what it is. It's tough. It's frustrating. It is funny because obviously college football, in my opinion, and I think by a lot of people's standards, has always been more popular than the NFL for a multitude of reasons. But this is definitely, I would say, just how it's functioned lately, as of late, and it's not even a money thing. I think it's just the constant turnover has put a bad taste into a lot of people's mouth. The other part of it too, man, you gotta keep an eye on when
everybody
are we gonna
has constant turnover though. Every team.
No,
so
you're
either gonna cry enough to fix the portal issue, make guys sit out a year, or be a one-time deal, or it's just going to be, it is what it is. We cannot like it.
I think we just got to figure out just longer contracts. Like if I bring you on as a freshman, try to get them for 2 years. And then maybe after their freshman year, you can negotiate. Nobody can leave, but you can try to negotiate to extend them to their third year. And that way, and again, the portal's still there because if something happens to your coach or what have you, or, and again, I don't, because you don't want to give back. I don't know who needs to have the control, but I said it last night, and I think that was a good way of looking at it. It's like in the NFL, you get to choose who that is, and then you're basically under their contract. It's right now, it's 1099 work. Like nobody works for anybody. You know what I mean? Like that's what's
here's
what's
the
weird.
Thing
Everyone's
too,
just borrowing everyone's time.
These players need to understand. There are players that come from lesser programs and get moved up to bigger programs and thrive, and they go to the NFL draft. If you go from the SEC to Bowling Green or somewhere else, bro, you ain't getting drafted and you ain't coming back. You ain't going to have one splashy year at a smaller college, come back to the SEC. Now you're on year 3 and think you're going to save your career. Like it's pretty much over. Like it's rare. It's super rare. Huh?
I don't know what your point on that is.
You should probably try to stick it out and earn a spot at the SEC school instead of just bouncing.
You're something like Arlos Boardingham?
Yeah.
Yeah, who's to say they didn't tell him to go? That's my point. Like you're saying that, hey, you should just suck it up and stick it out.
You're not listening. You don't listen. You don't listen to a thing I say. Bro, that's not what I said.
Okay, what did you say?
I said if you go from the SEC, not just Florida, if you go from the SEC and you go down to a G5 school, Okay, you're already behind the 8 ball. You would have to ball out another year, right? Okay. Earn your way back to the SEC. You're probably in year 3 or 4.
Okay.
You're probably not making it to the league. Why not just stay where you're at? These kids, they have no
so you didn't say,
they have no fortitude. They have no fortitude.
Hold on. You didn't say anything different. That's exactly what I heard. So then I was asking you a question like what Arlis Boardingham did, and then you told me he should have stuck it out.
There's 25 Gators like that.
Okay, but let's just speak of the one we're talking about. Arlis Boardingham, for example, went to Bowling Green. Yes. You're saying he should have just stuck it out, not knowing whether or not we told him to leave or not, knowing damn well he was never going to see the football field at Florida. Why not?
Why would he not see the football field at Florida?
Because he probably was told to leave. That's why why he ended up at Bowling Green, and so he wanted a chance to play. Like I don't understand. Like your argument doesn't make sense. Of like, hey, everyone should just sit down and ride it out and hope that you get 1 year, your 4th year.
That's what Bama players did for the last 15 years.
I was thinking about that last night, actually. I'm glad you brought that up because I was thinking about, remember like an 09 or maybe it was 2010?
The Packers running back wasn't even a starter and got drafted.
Or who? Jacobs? Or 11. I was like, man, those Bama teams were so nasty and so stacked that I remember there used to be massive conversations on like ESPN and whatnot about whether or not they could beat like the lowest team in the NFL. And back then it was like either like the Jags or like the Browns. And these NFL teams were really, really bad. I was like, nobody even sniffs that conversation anymore, but just because the talent has spread. But to get back to your point though, nobody's just sitting around like that anywhere anymore.
Yeah, that's the problem. We got kids hopping 3, 4, 5 schools. Listen, if you go to 3 different schools in your career, you ain't getting drafted. Ain't nobody gonna touch you with a 10-foot pole. Maybe 1, but you go 3, 4, 5. You ain't making it to the league, big dog.
I think Cam Ward did 3. I think Cam Ward went to 3 different schools.
But he always went up in tiers.
He went
There's
first.
A little bit difference. Again, you didn't listen. You didn't listen to what I said, dog.
I am listening. That's not what you said. All you said is you go to 3 schools. So you're not listening to yourself.
I literally said at the beginning of the conversation, I said not that you're going to a smaller school into a bigger program. Those guys
what you just said was 3 schools. I've listened to everything that you said. You're just being emotional.
I'm not being emotional. Quit calling me emotional. I'm not emotional about it. I'm just saying. You didn't listen at the very beginning of the conversation. I said if you go down in echelons, you're probably not coming back up. You probably ain't coming back. It's very rare that you come back up.
No, I agree.
Very
I don't
rare.
disagree.
I'm not talking about guys like Cam Ward and Fernando Mendoza and all these other guys that earned it at a G5 or less. I think Cam Ward was like NAIA or D2. Balled out.
I think that, I mean, I don't know what the point of it is. Like, you're just saying like they should just sit around and wait. Let's get Anthony Paz in here and let your brain settle in. Anthony, what's up, man?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, what's up? You
Okay, I'm gonna try to do this without getting too hyped, but I'm just going. I've been on chats. I've been in Gator posts. Let me try to share my heart and give some perspective on why I'm so aggravated and disappointed. And I'm still getting wake it up. We were going to spend $12 to $14 million a year on Lane Kiffin. Quote unquote so-called reports were we were going to give this said Lane Kiffin $25+ million a year for a roster. Let's say it's over 25 million. So we didn't get Lane Kiffin. We get a coach at half that price. Half that price. We should be dropping our nuts on a roster. We should be spending 32 million on a roster, 35 million on a roster. We should be, I keep hearing we're pinching pennies over $250,000 to Jaden Ball. Like this is I feel like we're joking right now. I feel like what I keep hearing is this. We're just going after what the market value is. We should be setting the market value. Texas Tech isn't doing that. Texas isn't. They're not saying, oh, we're just gonna go market. We should be I'm talking about we should be making the NCAA go, what is going on over there in Florida? If we were gonna spend $14 million on a coach and give him 27 million on a roster, but now we're going right back to pinching pennies. I am just blown away at how we're not talking about this. Why aren't we talking about uh, um Scott Strickland boosters? Are you guys giving $40 million for our roster? You were gonna give all this money to Lane and that roster. Where are we getting scared again? Where are we getting scared? I don't understand it. We just now we're paying 6 point something million for our coach and talking about, oh, we could barely make 25 million for a roster. Here we go with the poor mentality. This is what I'm saying. These upper echelon schools aren't doing that. They're talking about giving Lane Kiffin 90 million at LSU and then giving him 30 plus million for a roster. And we're sitting here pinching pennies over 250 grand. I'm gonna try not to get too hype, but this is the poor mentality that's causing players to go like, stay at Florida. Okay, we just had a player do what only 10 players in the history of the school has ever done. Run for 1,000. Only 10 players in the history of our entire school. And we're talking about pinching pennies at $250,000. Come on, man. You've got to be kidding me. Like, we should be dropping our nuts on our top players, period. Setting a line, telling the NCAA, telling college football, we're Florida. We set what the standard of players, what they're worth. And then we tell players, like, this is what we do at Florida. You come here, you're going to get hooked up. We're going to hook our coach up. We're going to build it incentives. It should look crazy. But we're sitting here arguing over dimes to me. Like, this is why I'm so aggravated again. Here we go back again to the Billy Napier type contracts, and we pay this. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like,
Well, I mean,
please explain that to me. How are we going to give a $14 million coach and give him more than $25 million for a roster?
you gotta let me go.
Okay.
So I think, I mean, part of it is you're going, I mean, off who said, hey, we're only giving 250,000 or pinch of pennies. I would say that's just me and Cody, because nobody truly knows what's being offered and what's being said outside of what we're talking about, right? From what I've heard, that the offer that Ball has been matched. I have told you my opinion on whether or not they should pay him the 1.5 because of what us doing the management roster. So unless you talk to somebody else, I don't like what we're going off of in that regards. In the sense of like what's spending, I don't know what the budget is. I say that every single time we talking about it. I don't know what they're trying to go after. What I do know is there's about like a $13-14 million of rev share, and then they have to get the rest of it from the collective, which there was reports that the collective gave anywhere from 15 to 18 million. So if you do that math, you're right at the 28-30 million that you were just referring to. I would right now we haven't signed anybody, right? So
Well, the portal's not even open yet.
Yeah, the people we've lost thus far, and I don't disagree with you spending. Again, I push back a little bit too. I said this on the show the other day. I was like, hey, why don't we just go, like Dave says this all the time. It's like, we're just poor. It's like, what are you going to just spend $100 million every year and it doesn't work out? Like, there has to be, that doesn't make any sense either. I've also said multitude of times that I think Florida fans, we just think that we just live in this world of billions of dollars when we don't compete with Texas. I've said that. So I don't know what you want me to do with that. We don't have as much money as them.
So how are we going to do that with LSU against LSU with Lane? Was that like smoke and mirrors? Like, we were talking about that we were going to be.
Who knows?
It sounds like we weren't even close.
I think we know. I think that's why he picked them.
Hold on. If I just told you though, so if they were going to give him 30 million, and I just told you that we get 13 of rev share plus they are 15 to 18 with from the collective. That's the 30 million that you're referring to. I also said on the show the other day that they have to.
But they were also going to give Lane 14 million for his contract, or 12 million, or whatever.
You're saying where's the extra money?
Those are different.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Money. I mean,
nobody's
technically those are different. Those are different money pools. I know that doesn't make any sense, but it is.
So can we get an understanding of that? Like, can someone in a press conference say, "Can you explain to us how you were going to give Lane $12 million and give him 30 million a year?" And not do this with John? So how are you going to do that? Can you take the money from You gave John Summerall half that. Is it possible to take that and put it into the roster? Like, give us answers. That's all I'm asking. I'm saying
I don't think we're
the
ever going to get
numbers
that.
aren't mathing to me.
No schools have that.
LSU, they're literally they're laying $1 jillion and also $1 jillion on the roster. Like, that's what I'm saying. So Texas right now,
we're not going to spend $1 jillion. So I don't think we have $1 jillion.
Reports are Texas right now is the lead for Woods and Ball, but they also have Colin Simmons. They also have top recruits
I just
coming
told you
in.
we're not going to outspend Texas. I don't know what you want me to do. I guarantee if you ask that question, I've been trying to say that for 1.5 years. We don't have that money. We're not going to spend Texas kind of money. We don't have money. That is a matter of a fact. Like, there's nothing you can do about it.
That's the gut punch that I'm coming to the conclusion that we're not those elite schools. We're not LSU. We're not Texas. We're not Texas A&M. Now we're not Texas Tech. Now we're not Miami. Like, I'm starting to realize that this sucks to be that. Like,
I think people are overlooking Ohio State.
And Ohio State, you're right. That's another one that I'm starting to say, man, I've been a Gator fan since 1997. I turned 40 years old tomorrow on the 31st. I'm like, how am I thinking we are top 3 in the country? We are in categories no other schools in. We have only titles to things that the Florida Gators have done, and we're not on their level. Like, that just blows my mind. The only school to have 3 basketball championships and 3 football championships. The only school to have as many Olympians as we have. Well, we're in only categories, and we're not even in the top 10 in spending. Like, maybe in the top. I don't know. I'm just saying. This blows my mind. I'm thinking my brain is telling me that the University of Florida, we should be like Texas Tech at least. I just flabbergasted to me.
I think that's
I think
your
a lot.
fault for not understanding economics.
Anthony, I think this is a problem. There's a lot of old money, not a lot of young money. I think you got a lot more young money at Texas Tech.
I said this a while ago when we had the show where it came on, like, where it was like with Gary Condon and being like the big booster and having a lot of weight. It's like there's one guy throwing a lot of money, and which is also a factor in itself. Like, to say that it's not an elite school, there's factors to this. I mean, because maybe it's not elite in spending, but obviously the logo still carries a different type of weight and a different type of.
It doesn't mean that Florida is always going to be like this. Also, these things kind of come in waves. Like, I thought when NIL,
it's a different era.
Yeah, I thought when NIL opened up, I thought SMU was going to win natty after natty after natty after natty after natty, and they haven't. They don't even spend like that. Like, realistically, because all that old money died and nobody cares.
Everyone
cares about the football
real
program.
quick, Georgia. I mean, Georgia's not spending anything astronomical either. They don't have one of the top NIL programs in the country by any stretch of the imagination.
They just got
what they're doing is they're winning. Yeah, they're winning.
And yeah, I think that this is going to show.
And you also hold on real quick. So here's my thing. You act like we're just like at the bottom feeders of spending. Texas was number 1 last year. We were 5th in the NIL in the SEC.
We just spent it wrong.
You can compete by being 5th in the SEC. Are you going to have every spot locked up? No, you have to make up for it in other areas. And that's in every sport. For you to think that, hey, we're going to outspend everybody. Like, I'm a Braves fan, so I understand this a little bit more. Like, I don't personally, I don't want to be the Dodgers. I think that's stupid. So that doesn't even just go out and just buy everybody. Then it is what it is. Like, there's going to be one person that does that. And there's going to be one team every year that overspends and doesn't get back their return. And there's people that can afford to do that. Yeah,
Texas didn't even make the playoffs.
That's an outlier, though.
But that's not an outlier. If you spent the most money and
look at how much Texas A&M spent with that recruiting
A&M's
class
right there.
of Jimbo.
They get busted by first round.
Yeah,
I mean,
Jimbo Fisher. You remember that class of Jimbo Fisher?
I'm not trying to claim for, but I don't think Florida's playing cheap here either. I think we're overreacting as well because we haven't seen what we're going to go do. But from everything that I've heard is that Dallas Wilson has been offered a very healthy amount. Jaden Woods was offered everything he asked for, and Jaden Ball's being offered what he's asked for. If he chooses to leave, it's because they don't want to play here. So then what do you want them to do? Just keep paying more and more?
if those reports are true, then I mean I understand them just wanting to leave. Like I get that. If that's true.
Those are reports from Pete Nakos. The other stuff that you're talking about are what we discussed when we're trying to break down a GM of like, hey, if I'm managing a budget, which every team has a budget and should have a budget, it shouldn't just be like, hey, we'll just go keep buying, just keep buying. Like, no, that creates issues too. Like, there are rules that they are trying to apply, whether you want like they fall in place or not are different. But look, I think the questions are fair, but I think that there was a good thing.
Anthony, I'm going to tell you this: we spent money last year and the year prior.
Yeah, it just
we didn't spend it right, dude. We mismanaged.
I get that. Well, when you're spending 3-point-something million on a quarterback that's not proven anything, I see our mismanagement.
Okay, so
and
that's the
spending
thing.
money.
He's like, just pay everybody. Well, guess what? They paid a quarterback last year, and how did that work out for us?
Well, they paid one player. If you pay
one
for
player,
production,
whoa! That entire line on both sides was expensive, dude.
Well, what I'm saying is he was the upper. He was the. When I say just pay him, I'm talking about we should have 3-4 players making 1.5 million.
We do.
Not what? Then why are we talking about 1.25 million to Jaden Ball, 1.5? Like why are we doing that? Like I'm not understanding how we
you
got
want to pay. You want to pay $6 million to 3 dudes?
I would do that. Yes.
That's
if
crazy.
If they've shown. I would do that.
Did you watch our GM show?
I disagree. Yeah, I disagree.
Yes, I did watch the GM show, but the GM show, we were trying to stay at the $25 million range, and I'm like, why are we?
That's the budget.
It should be 33, 34.
That's managing a team. Like that just doesn't make any sense to me. Like,
yeah, even if you gave us 30
every single year, but you're getting money from somebody who wants a return on their investment.
What I'm saying is, we shouldn't be paying attention to pinching pennies. Is what I'm saying is.
I think you have
it's not pinching pennies. If Texas is spending 40 and I'm spending 32, it's not. It's like, hey, like, am I managing my money? Yeah, like, hey, we're not spending that extra $8 million. I'm like, well, why not? It's like,
so that's just not, I guess I'm locked up. I'm locked up in my brain at how we were going to satisfy Lane in his desire, according to reports, and then we're going back.
Hey, guess what's going to happen? You know what's going to happen to Lane? The same thing that happened to Brian Kelly. That guy doesn't produce in 2 years, his ass is gone because they're giving him $40-55 million, and then you, like right now, saying we paid you 45 and you can go win me a national championship. Kick rocks, brother.
That's exactly how we should be acting. That's how Florida should be acting.
We're just going to burn it. We're just going to keep spending 50 million. Like, I get it. There is a point, but like, I just that concept of like, hey, just keep spending money that doesn't exist.
I also think
Anthony,
wait, one more thing. Because guess what LSU did when they said, Brian Kelly, you don't do that, gone, and guess what they did? Got the hottest coach in the whole country. So they'll do it again. That's the whole point. They're saying we're LSU. We will fire you and get somebody head and shoulders above you.
They're turning into
and
Tennessee.
Pluck him from the school he was supposed to go to. These dudes are dropping their nuts on everybody. Like, that's what I'm saying. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Elaine, if you don't do it, you'll leave, and we might even resurrect Nick Saban.
They'll do it again.
Okay, I'm done. But
and again,
later, buddy. Let me do a couple super chats. $1 from Peter, $5 besides Philo. Who are some quarterbacks we should look out for? I haven't heard any more names outside of him. Maybe that Notre Dame quarterback. $5 from the Truth. Appreciate you, man. $5. Cut out Netflix and donate to Florida Victorious and High Top. Then we get a bigger pool. Yeah, that's possible. How much money has this guy donated? I'm gonna shake my head. None. I think someone Anthony. Ain't worried about it. Bought it. Cam Coleman to the portal though. We got his old coach. Do we get him? I think that Texas Tech A&M lead the way. Hunter, what's up, man?
I've been following you guys since like 2,000 or 3,000 followers, so it's pretty cool to see how far you guys have come.
Appreciate it, man.
First time calling in, but
long time listener.
Yeah, I have two things. That guy that just called in obviously does not understand how a budget works. I mean, you can't just continually throw money at something and get nothing. We went 4-8 this year and spent 25 to 30 million last year. So
yeah, that part is always a hard conversation to have because me and Dave butt heads on this too. Because like, just spend the money. It's like, and then we talk about budget. It's like, why is there a budget? It's like that's how every functioning business operates. I don't
In
understand.
household, I would
Even
hope.
Texas has a budget. I mean,
I have a budget. I'm only allowed to spend so much on silver a week.
I understand why we aren't a good example because everyone's like, well, we're people. We're not big business. We don't. But if you are a business and you're trying to succeed, you don't just throw money at something. You have to be efficient about it. And that's kind of how I view it. Like it makes sense to me because I've also seen like again, you watch baseball. Like, does someone have a bigger pool? Yes, I've said that. Florida is not in that pool of the Texases. I mean, if that was like you just like, oh my gosh, like glass break moment. Sorry.
Yes.
I don't know.
And my biggest thing is like, yes, we've lost a couple of, good players or whatever, but every team does. Texas doesn't have a running back right now.
Like, the whole room is gone. That room was expensive. I can assure you that.
9-3 this year, and they don't have a running back. We went 4-8 and have at least signed some production back. We also went through a coaching change. Like, people don't expect attrition. Like, what are we talking about? Like, yes, we're going to lose some good players. That's a part of losing a coach. You can't just throw $5 million to each player and pray to God that they come back. What if they don't fit the scheme?
Let me ask you this, Hunter. Would you rather have signed everybody back, plus the recruiting class, and had another year in Napier, or lose some guys and try something different?
Lose some guys. Like,
yeah,
Napier would have stuck with DJ Lagway, and I didn't watch like 3 or 4 games this year because of Lagway. Like, I
think that's the consensus of Gator Nation. But here's the problem: is most of us want our cake and eat it too. We want to sign all.
We beat that $40 million roster with that 4-8.
Yeah, we beat that. Yeah, we did beat that $40 million roster with a 4-8 team. But it's like we want our cake and eat it too. Yeah, we want Napier gone. Everybody was begging by week 2 or 3. Whenever we played Miami, yep, we're done. We're done with this. Get him out of here. We don't care if we lose players. Get him out of here. Who cares? Right. The roster sucks. The whole roster sucks.
And now they want to complain.
Exactly.
That's just the world. Yeah.
Like,
I don't even think so. So the teams in the playoffs right now, right? We know Texas Tech spent money. I'm not even gonna. We ain't even gonna.
They ain't moneyball shit.
But here's the thing, though. They not only did they spend it well. Like I think that gets overlooked. It's not like they just went and just bought a bunch of star players. They had a pretty stout base before they went and bought. Right? They just knew where they needed to go put their money at. Indiana ain't got much money out there. Fernando came from California. Like he wasn't like he was a $4 million quarterback in the portal. But they're a great example. Oregon's
that's the other thing that I wanted to point out is like everybody keeps on saying this is Billy 2.0 or whatever, and it may be like, I'm not going to sunshine pump none of that, but like it may be, but there's 2 things that I've like noticed is one, whenever Billy came in, he had the same record as John Summerall. I understand that, but he never had to deal with the freaking portal. Summerall has had to deal with the portal every year and lose every single player every year and still did the same thing that Napier did whenever he was able to not lose his players. So I believe that Summerall will actually understand how to use the freaking portal and use it correctly as opposed to Napier. Napier had no clue what to do. Like y'all said on the show 1,000 times, we wait for the portal to close before we would be like, J. Michael Sturdivant, the 40th best receiver in the portal class. Let's go get him. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not saying that we're going to sign the top guys or anything like that because I have no clue. But I don't see us signing garbage out of the portal again.
Yeah, I think that's a good point of that this guy has experience in the portal that Napier, like I think he said it in last year's presser of like, we finally understand how this works. Right, we kind of get an idea of how we want to navigate this. Look, they have to spend money in the portal if they want to win now. They know that, and I believe that they will. But
they kept the recruiting class.
We'll know in a couple.
They kept the whole recruiting class too. They didn't lose a single cat in their recruiting class. All those guys could have Penn Stated and be out of here.
I think again they've done a good, in my opinion, and I said it the other day. They've done a pretty bang up job. I would say retaining with the recruiting class and then obviously the current staff on the current roster at hand. Because again, outside these last few, like the Durinson, Bora, and Woods, in my opinion, are 3 guys. But I also said it. I go with a cleanup, you're going to have some overlap of things that are like, it's not going to go perfect. So that's just the name of the game. At what point is it a red flag? There isn't one, because when you fire your coach, you that the way that I look at it is like you could go complete, the 180 of the other direction. So.
And last thing I want to say is for the Florida fans, look at Auburn. They kept DJ Durkin and can't keep anybody on defense.
Yep.
And they've lost literally every star player except for one receiver.
Auburn is going through it, and again, I try not to bring that up because fans like, well, we're not Auburn. They're a premier SEC program. So
right.
I mean,
they're in a conference.
LSU's lost 20 plus dudes.
They don't have an offensive lineman left. Like
that's going to be a hell of a bill come in a couple of days. I'll tell you that. I'm not saying they're not going to spend it, but it's going to be a bill.
Everybody wanted Lane, but he's not even retaining LSU players. And I understand that their offensive line wasn't great, but there was some good pieces in their offensive line, and they've lost them.
Those guys are all being targeted for top schools right now.
Yeah,
so
it's not like some of the guys that left here.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah,
thanks
y'all
for
have a good
always supporting and calling in, Bubba.
Yep, have a good one.
Anthony $10 says, "I'm not donating money to this admin until they show me that they'll drop their nuts. I'll continue to do super chat, support Sheldon's hustle, hashtag scare money, don't make money, but our money is scared." I appreciate it. Look, I mean that's a fair reason to do that. I think again, supporting the Florida Victorious and those guys that they've showed of the people they've retained, but I mean,
it's tough. It's tough when you're taking it out of your own pocket.
I don't get it. I'm not here to say, hey, you need to go put money towards this. Do what you want. I'm not preaching for anybody. I like giving someone else money.
I donate just so I can complain. That's the only reason I donate monthly.
Hey Skater, what's up, buddy?
Hey, what's up, y'all? Y'all hear me all right?
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah. Go grab a beer.
Yeah. There was two things that I wanted to talk about. One was to kind of piggyback on what the first dude was talking about. So this is a Moneyball, okay? I know there's some people that haven't seen the movie this and third, but it's not Moneyball. This, as much as we love to view this as, oh, it's football, we love this sport, this, that, and third, it's still technically a business. I mean, like y'all were saying, those people that are putting these millions and millions of dollars in for us to go to the portal or, to try to retain some of these players, they expect to get a return on that. Last year we spent 3 million on Lagway and we went 4-8, and he's not even going to be back next year. You can't just expect for everything to go your way. And, if I spend a shit ton of money, sorry if I cuss,
you're good.
If I spend a bunch of money and I don't get a return on that, 9 times out of 10, I'm more than likely not going to give you that much money.
Yeah.
I'm not going to follow you up with, oh, well, I gave you, however much this year. I'm only going to give you half that much this year because you didn't return anything that you said you would.
And part of it for me too was, again, because I do believe I said this, hey, if Lane was going to be here, there was talks that we were, because I think part of his requirement, or at least that we talked on the show, was hey, my NIL budget needs to be X. And I said, look, well, that's you got to have that same energy with whoever you bring in. I do believe that. And that's what we don't know. For me to say, hey, we're not spending money, I don't believe that right now. Do I think we're playing Moneyball? No, but I think there is a budget in place, and that's why I was showing, hey, if it is 25, it is 28, because who knows what the number we heard for Lane was 100% true. So when we did the budget thing, I was just trying to play, when I budget my own money, I shrink it, right? Okay, let's do it less than, because you got a cause for whatever, right?
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, and so again, people will argue, well, hey, why do we have to budget or be concerned about how investment but other schools are? Well, no, I'm pretty sure they are too. But again, when you're reaching for a bigger pool, you have more flexibility, right? Like the Texas Tech guys, those guys are. There was one of the boosters said that, hey, we basically got to collect a pool of money together. We anticipated to spend this much. This is what we allocated to spend, and then we got to the portal and we had to go a lot more expensive than we thought to get who we wanted, right? So we upped the budget. For Texas Tech, they've already got a return on their money. That they won a
I mean,
Big
of
12
course. I mean,
championship and they're in the playoffs. Like in their eyes, they've already won. But they also
they're
said
ranked
we
number
know
4.
they're going to
Like,
change the rules, and so we've got to capitalize while we can. And I think,
oh yeah.
and that's
And I mean,
that. If there's a thing to complain about, where Florida is, they won't bend the rules until like they're tampering now because those aren't even rules anymore. But I think from the money perspective, and again, this is all a thing. We have no idea what's happening behind the scenes. Like we say, oh, we're being cheap. That roster, again, watching it being deconstructed shows you that the money was mismanaged like a son of a gun. If you put together a healthy $30 million roster, $28 million roster, that guy that spent $40 million, the gap is small because all he's doing is probably spending the other 10 to 8 in like 2 to 3 players. And are those guys difference makers? Yeah. But are they going to be 100% healthy the entire season? Oh, there's so many more factors to it, right? The problem was we didn't have it in the trenches. The money wasn't in the trenches. It was on sideline pieces. We had all the money sitting on the bench. And it was in LJ McCray. It was in Dallas Wilson. It was in a safety room that didn't even see the football field. And it was in a quarterback that couldn't throw. Yeah, that couldn't throw a football. So you had about $15 million that wasn't productive last year. And that's another problem of it as well, personally.
And I mean, my other point was, it kind of piggybacks off that is, I mean, if we really want to be like LSU and go pay that $25 million or whatever it was that they were offering Lane for the roster and the job, like, dude, you saw what they just went through with Brian Kelly. They just went through a lawsuit, and if I'm not mistaken, they're still going through the lawsuit. Like, do y'all really want Florida to be that school that's, oh, well, we're perpetually putting out money, but we're perpetually not getting anything back in return? Like, if you look at Georgia, they're spending money, don't get me wrong, but they're not out there spending Texas type of money. They're not out there saying, hey, we're going to go get this guy, we're going to go do this, and, this is how stuff's going to go. Nah, they're like, well, this is how we're going to run it. If you don't like it, oh, well, get off. Like, we don't need you. I mean, and I know there's a lot more that goes into that, but like you said, we don't see everything that's going on behind closed doors. It's still a business regardless.
Here's a list of top 10 spenders. Texas, which are not in the playoffs. Texas Tech, who's in the playoffs. Ohio State, who's in the playoffs. Oregon, who's in the playoffs. Texas A&M, who's no longer in the playoffs, but they made it. Miami, who's in it. USC was ass. Michigan was ass. Tennessee didn't make it, and Auburn was ass. Those are your top 10. So who else is in the playoffs right now? That Georgia was not on this list.
Alabama.
Indiana is not on this list. Alabama is not on this list. And Oklahoma is also not on this list, and they made the playoffs.
I also think that we're missing out on the factor. Some years you're going to spend a little bit more because there's more talented, proven players. And some years are down years. And that happens in recruiting. That happens in NFL drafts. That happens in NFL free agency. Some years it's kind of like, well, like, are we really going to spend that much for this guy? This guy's a tier 2 guy.
I can use Indiana because they bullied one of the top spending schools in the country in Ohio State. So if I can't use Indiana, then you can't use Ohio State and you can't use Oregon either. And you can't use USC.
They did win the
And I mean, it's to kind of go on my last point, I'll get off here. I know y'all probably got more callers, but we're a lot of Florida fans, at least, they're so tied up on our retention rate. Like, what happens if we don't keep Ball? What happens if we don't keep DB3 or Wilson or this, that, and the third? And it's like, well, if you kind of think about it, everything that's coming out, the money's not the issue. The money wasn't the issue with Lagway.
Yep.
The money wasn't the issue with, other players. So the way I'm looking at it is Summerall is going in there, and he's pretty much like, look, this is what we're going to do. We're not fucking around no more. Excuse my French. But if you don't want to be a part of the train, or not train, my bad, the ship, if you don't want to be on the ship, then go. Because if you're not willing to work for it, you're not willing to show me.
Oh, God.
Given to.
Can we get Clint before he has to clock in?
You still got to earn your position. And if you're not willing to go for it and actually put that work in, why am I trying to pay you $1.5 million?
No doubt. You broke up a little bit, but Ace Gator, I appreciate your call, man. Good insights. This has been great, man. I appreciate you, Bubba. Be good. I can't hear him. Clint.
What
Florida
up?
Victorious
Can
needs
you
more
hear me?
silver. Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. You want to have beer with me right
Oh,
now?
hell yeah. Yeah. I just got through drinking a Bloody Mary before I get on this truck.
Ooh,
Just
boy.
kidding. First of all, Shelton, do you have a damn real job?
Clint, this isn't about me. What do
Oh,
you want to
wow.
talk about? I mean, I'm putting on a show for you, and I'm getting attacked.
Look. I've been stuck in Hawkins lately trying to catch up on Stranger Things because I've never watched it.
Bro, I was about to say, I was like, what are you in Stranger Things? That's hilarious.
Yeah, I've never watched it and finally caught up. So when should we know about ball?
Clint,
Ooh.
2 days?
Yeah.
I don't know.
We don't know.
I mean, hell, y'all act like y'all got inside sources.
No.
No.
I don't know anything.
No, we don't know nothing.
You know
People
more than
DM me
Clint.
thinking we have inside sources. I don't know a thing, dog.
Okay, what about have you seen Dallas Wilson's Instagram story? It kind of looks like he doing something with Florida Victorious. I mean, looks like he might be re-signing. I don't know. Could be a conspiracy.
I mean, there's a lot of positivity, I would say, coming from both camps, but until it's signed, I don't really know what to, or from our camp, I should say. But you got to take all those things with a grain of salt. So, look, for me, Woods was the big one. I guess me personally, I'm not as consumed with those guys. I know people feel differently than I am, but it is what it is. I'm ready to get to where we can start filling these holes. Versus losing everything, you know what I mean?
Yep.
I hope we can have a next couple
Not the only
2
hole
days
I wanna
of.
fill.
That was good. That was good.
You and Shelton hanging out soon or something?
Nah, me and my
Clint!
stepmommy.
Ow! But nah, y'all. Hey man, y'all keep it up. Y'all bust up in the Shane Matthews time, but whatever, it's cool.
I'm sorry.
High
Go
top.
tell Shane. Go tell
High
Shane.
top for life.
I want the smoke on the links. Tell me he's avoiding me.
No, I just go re-listen to him and in the mornings. That's my morning get go. But I appreciate y'all doing what y'all do, and I know I give y'all a hard time usually, but y'all keep it up.
Thanks, Clint. I appreciate you plugging Shane Matthews in. Thanks.
You're welcome. See you
Later, buddy.
Yeah, not like he needs any notoriety, right? Only on the SEC
Yeah.
channel.
Lucas, what's up, buddy?
Lucas?
What's up, buddy? Sorry, I didn't. Sorry, guys. I'm really the. I honestly think John Summerall is doing this the right way, but because Billy Napier should have got rid of Mullins players faster. I honestly think Billy Napier is doing things the right way, or John Summerall is doing the things the right way, and doing what Billy Napier should have done in year one, and that's get rid of the former coaches players tenure in year one and hit the portal hard. So, but Woods, to be honest with you, is the only one that I'm very disappointed. Woods is the only one that I'm disappointed with that is leaving. I honestly think that one hurts more than the other ones. I don't know. I wanted McIver to stick around, and that one kind of stinks. But I'm just waiting to see who we bring in to replace these guys. Thanks for having me on.
No, thank you, Lucas.
No problem.
Be good, man.
Appreciate
Happy New
it.
Year, buddy. I appreciate you calling in, big guy.
We love you.
All right. Okay, he left himself. That's Lucas, the man, right there. We appreciate Lucas calling in. Yeah, good stuff. Again, Woods was a big one for me too. Dylan, what's up, man?
What's up, guys?
How we doing?
Good. Hey, I may get short and sweet. I'm about to head to work, so
Okay.
I couldn't disagree more with the whole spending thing. I think y'all are on the same boat, but the coaching is the number one. Period.
Agreed.
End of story. I mean, we've done, everybody's butt hurt, and rightfully so. We had a high school staff for the past 10 year of Billy Napier. Period. I mean, when you're Googling and it takes 2 searches to find out who the OC is, like I don't.
There's an obituary first.
Yeah, I'm not really.
That it existed.
I'm not really understanding it. I mean, I live in Georgia, so I deal with it. Georgia, everybody's like, oh, you can't use Indiana, you can't use Texas. Go give Kirby Smart's Texas roster, they'd be dominant. It wouldn't even be. They wouldn't even be a game. They would whoop everybody's ass because he can develop. Why do you think you see Clemson fire their offensive coordinator? They fired their special teams coach. You see Texas, because they spent that much money, fire their DC, fire their running back coach, because they're trying to figure out why.
Yeah,
Why?
that's true.
Why is this not working? Clemson's a perfect example. They lose their OC and they lose Brett Venables, and they've been irrelevant since. Because it's coaching staffs, and coaching is what makes you good in college football. It's what makes you. NFL's a little bit different because in college, the talent shrinks down and everybody's good. But when you get to the NFL, everybody's elite. Everybody was an All-American. Everybody was this. Like I don't get the drop your nuts mentality. Like, there's plenty of teams. Why do you think everybody's like, well, Oregon, they're spending? Well, they got Dan Lanning. Dan Lanning turned it around in a blink of an eye. Like, you've got.
Hold on. I would argue that Oregon hasn't really got a true return on their investment. I mean,
not fully, because they haven't won national championship or anything, but they've made it to the playoff now. Like, they're in the playoff.
Right.
Something that we have not done.
Sure.
Right.
I'm not saying they haven't
spent a lot of money.
They've spent a ton of money from what we at least know, and I just what they have spent. They've been your Texas for the last couple of years on spending. They made the playoffs, which is much better than where we've been. But yeah, Dan Lanning's a freak. And it's a perfect example. It's going to see what happens next year because their entire staff got plucked.
Yep.
Let's not forget that Ryan Day was a game away from getting fired.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And then won the nap.
Yep.
Let's not forget.
And what he has done is put good coaches around him.
Yeah, he realized, they're serious.
I mean, you're going to look at. I hate Miami, but nobody's really talking about it. Ohio State, in my opinion, is in a very vulnerable position against Miami. Miami has an elite defense. I hate to say it. It breaks my heart to say it. Elite.
Yeah, that's good.
Ryan Day's about to call plays. He hadn't called plays in 2 years.
No, I said it was go watch the Indiana game. I go, this could be the beginning to the end of Ryan Day once again, because Hartline was never calling plays. The fact that he got a head coaching job is kind of interesting to me personally, but he's obviously been in that tutelage for a while and probably has a good understanding of how to run a program. If he goes get himself a good OC and a good DC, he can recruit his ass off. It probably will work out. But he wasn't calling plays. I mean, that's why Chip Kelly.
Why didn't they turn around and just rehire Chip Kelly?
He went to
Chip Kelly's going north. He's going Northwest.
He's going Northwestern now. Why didn't they just? Yeah. They need OC anyway. Why didn't they just?
I thought Georgia Tech got him.
No, Northwestern.
As a head coach or OC?
OC.
What? Chip?
Yeah.
So Georgia Tech did not get him?
No.
What? That was a thing, right? That was reported.
I think
they were in talks. I think they were in talks about it.
Oh yeah, just 28 minutes ago.
You can say he's washed. Didn't he just win a natty a couple years ago?
Like it happened like days ago. It just happened.
Yeah, it just happened. Yeah, it just came across my thing. That's why I was talking about it. But I think we're in a great position. To me, I'm on the same boat as Shelton. The Woods hurt. It broke. It, like, if we lost Ball, we lost Dallas Wilson, I was like, okay, that hurts. Woods sucks because and a running back doesn't have an impactful, and a wide receiver doesn't have an impactful play every single play. A defensive end does. He has every single play he can wreak havoc. Look at Miami. Look at Texas A&M's defensive end. They're freaks. They make impacts every single time they step on the field. Not saying that I wouldn't love to have all three of them, but to lose Woods, it sucks. And I mean, if we're offering that kind of money and all that, it does. Nobody really knows why he really left. But I think coaching staff wise, we've done outside of Lane Kiffin, Lincoln Riley, I'm being honest. I don't really know if anybody is as good as Buster Faulkner out there. He's as good as there is. We have an amazing O-line coach, and I think the Brad White hire is a sneaky hire. I don't know why everybody's so down on that hire. I think it's a great hire, but
I think it's a very good hire because of the system. I think because of what you're bringing him in under as. I think he has a ton of experience in the league, and it's very Chip Kelly-esque like on the offensive side, where it's like he showed flashes. It's been a while, but let's run it back, right? I mean, look, you got Greg Knowles that was the highest paid DC for Penn State, and he basically got his head coach fired. I'm not him, but it's like always getting the big and flashy guy doesn't always work out either. Like you could argue for always both sides. I'm not. Look, and maybe that's a poor mindset of me. I just am not.
Clemson's OC was the hottest name to be an OC, and he just got fired.
Yep.
Head coach.
They had a terrible offense this year.
Yeah, for me, I'm a big believer in this. I love Will Anderson, and I said it when we were doing our draft party when they went Bryce Young, Will Anderson. I go that. They gave you the blueprint of how to draft moving forward. I was like, that's what you do, because what did you just – now, you could get it wrong. You could get a bad quarterback and a bad edge rusher, right? Like, I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
But like you just said, Dylan, you got a guy that's touching the ball or going to be, impacting the play on each side of the ball. Your two most important guys, because that edge room is so important nowadays, because individually, by themselves, can disrupt an entire game. Cassius Howe has done it. Obviously, but the Bosa has no problem doing it. I mean, the list goes on. Micah Parsons is another one where they literally genuinely hate. Now, they can get shut down. Let's not get it twisted. But that is such an – and Will Anderson is a treat to watch. J.J. Watt was a treat to watch. And so, for me, that's why I was so high on Woods, because I learned pretty quickly, like, the NFL gives you a blueprint. Like, if they are doing those things, and it's like, well, when people say, well, the Eagles win when on Barkley, yeah, because they were able to draft
they got Carter.
Huh?
They got Carter. What's the guy?
They crush the draft when it comes to the defensive line. They're
the NFL Georgia Bulldogs. I mean, their defense is hellacious. I mean, now if you can get the other piece to the puzzle is the other person that touches the field, the ball, and makes impact is the quarterback. The quarterback, without a doubt, you got to get it. You got to get it right. I think the edge room, linebacker room is. I think Miles Graham, to me, was the centerpiece to it all. And then offensively, that's why I've been high on the Philos. I think that they bring Philo in and I think he's still going to compete. I think what they see in Trammell, they see a lot of potential there, but they think they bring in Philo because it's system. Trammell can see that, this is how it works. This is how the system works. But I think that they really are trying to keep Ball because it's going to take a lot of the defense's eyes is in the backfield on Ball.
You got to respect
which will open. You got to respect it, which will open it up. That's why I think that they're trying to go after Ball so heavy. And if you can add a Dallas Wilson, and even if you lose Dallas Wilson and you can go spend the money, go get a Coleman or one of these really good receivers that are in the thing that give you another weapon, I think we're in a good position. I don't think you got to go out here and spend $40 million to be competitive. I think coaching is the bottom line, number one first, then what you do with that talent.
Exactly, and that's kind of big on me. And we don't know if the coaching is going to work either. We're still kind of in a nutshell on that one.
No, we don't.
I appreciate it, man. This has been a great call. Yeah. You guys have been crushing it today. Thanks, man. Call's been great, man. I love it. This has been a really good show. I love the pushback. Listen, I know Anthony got a lot of flack. I enjoy the other thought of it. We may not always agree, and I don't agree with some of the things that he said. And maybe again, I kind of question, like, am I being dumb saying, like, hey, we should be spending more? I don't think we're being cheap. Like we want to imply that we are. Have we been cheap at times? I think that Napier was cheap in the wrong areas.
Yeah,
because he spent. You don't land two of the top 5 players in LJ McCray and BJ Lagway if you're cheap.
Yeah.
You also closed in on Dallas Wilson. The problem is because again they just spent it in the wrong areas. Brian, what's up, bud?
Man, these people are killing me about all the whining about we're losing Jaden Woods, we're losing Mekhi Barrow. Maybe the coach didn't want them. Maybe somewhere else seen something in these players that we haven't seen as a fan. Falling in love with players is the dumbest thing you can do as a fan is fall in love with a player. How about fall in love with a team and trust in the process. I don't want to say trust the process, but trust that
Say it.
Summerall,
Easy.
trust that Summerall is going to spend some money in the portal. The dude said it when he left Tulane. He don't like losing his players to the portal. He's going to go get some better guys to replace the dudes that leave. I mean, there's 2.5 sacks. Okay, we're sweating 2.5 sacks. Jaden Woods might have been a good player. He might have been projected to be good. DJ was projected to be good. How about we can't go off of projection? We need to go get somebody that's getting 7 sacks a year, 8 sacks a year. Maybe that's why they're saying, okay, we'll let you walk, bro. We're going to go get an 8 or 9 sack guy in the portal.
We keep saying that, like, everybody keeps saying, like, oh, it sucks Jaden Woods is leaving. It sucks Jaden Woods is leaving. Harold Perkins, 2022, his freshman year. 39 solo tackles, 33 assists, 7.5 sacks, and an INT.
Yeah, that's a player.
That's
Woods,
a difference maker.
Yeah, that's what we Jaden Woods might have been a projected player that could be good in the next
I'm tired of projecting.
years. Right. So let's go get the Harold Perkins out of the portal. That's what Florida's going to do. That's what Summerall needs to do. That's what he's probably going to do. And we're all back here saying that we're pinching pennies. No, dude's just waiting to spend better money. There's a difference in spending all your money, and there's a difference in spending quality money.
I can go find 2 backs in the portal right now that are that behind a good offensive line that will produce the same numbers as Jaden Ball.
Exactly. Go get the running back from Duke if Ball leaves.
Yeah.
The freshman have better numbers than Ball.
Go get the North Carolina kid.
I'm
Smothers.
not stressing any players, bro. I believe in the coach. The coach is way better than Billy Napier ever thought about being. So why are we stressing over players when we have a better coach now?
I think part of it too is because it's kind of the only thing that fans have been able to hang their hat on because it's been so bad. And I get it, right? Like we fall in love with these players. For me, I kind of preach on it. I think the 3 of us are kind of on that same page of like Woods was the only one that I was pretty. Miles Graham and a few others, but we've kept the ones that I was concerned about. But again, and I'm not even looking at it from a personnel perspective. I was looking at it when we were doing the GM. Like I just said, if I'm the GM, these are must keeps because. But and then again, I'd argue if you go look at the edge room that's available right now, it's crazy stacked. Yeah. And who was the best player on Texas A&M? Bowling Green. Cassius Howe.
With two short arms.
Two short arms was able to get it done. So, and Jack Pyburn, who transferred from Florida, that was in that look, and I hate it because it's like we're in the spin factor, right? What John's got to do is John still has to go spend the money. So there's the other half of this puzzle that hasn't been completed yet, and that's all that we're saying. But I think what the problem is because we have a 4 years of what Billy Napier did, that's what they think they're going to go do. But a good point where John had to live in the portal his entire time as a collegiate coach and work it and make it be successful. That's where I'm going to lean on and be promising of. I also believe that the coaching staff is such a massive upgrade that's going to be a factor. Is it going to be enough? I have no clue.
Yeah.
I don't have a clue.
Yeah, 20 solos, 11 assists, and 11.5 sacks this past year. That's a game record. Cassius.
Golly.
And who's to know, like McCray came into office and met Summerall and told Summerall the first day, look, man, I haven't been able to play yet. And I'm about to bust some heads, dude. And they gave him his money. Because you look at McCray, he looks like a difference maker. He looks big. He looks like old Javon Curse back in the day.
Yeah. Larry Cox is right.
Woods, to me, he looked good on film a little bit. But that's what I'm saying. He looked a little bit good. And he was too small, in my opinion, to play playing defensive end in the SEC. He might need to go to Kansas, where his mama is. I don't want to bash players, but he don't look like an SEC guy. He made a freshman all SEC because there wasn't nobody else to compare him to. Somebody has to get the award. 2.5 sacks. Why are we sweating it? He played in all 12 games. He played in all 12 games to what? 10 games he didn't get a sack?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, come on, man. Why are we sweating it? He had a pick. Well, guess what? That pick didn't lead to a win. He didn't follow it up with another sack later on in that drive. He might have played one play a game for 10 games. It just need a guy that's consistent. Don't sweat the players. Trust that Summerall is going to freaking coach these players and get them on a better mindset of, hey, we're going to go dominate. And I'm going to go get some players.
And I think right now you're learning too, man. Like, for every player that you look to retain and spend, there's another player that's gonna, a guy that's you're gonna overspend on. There's gonna be a guy that you underspend on. Like it's gonna be back and forth, and you got to find that balance. I mean, Alabama's kicking themselves on what they did with Ryan Williams, right? Like if that was, like there's so many stories that show you that. And again, when we say, oh, we didn't get Cassius out, well, we got George Gums. It wasn't like it was one or the other. And George was great one of the years. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like coaching is a much more important factor, and then you still need to go put the roster and the players on the football field to get it done. But the frustrations are always warranted. Again, the conversations are fun, but Brian always bringing a good insight, Bubba. I appreciate. Listen, if we brought him hype,
who's to say he don't go and who's to say Summerall don't go and overspend on the portal? Like we keep saying, we got this budget that we're all scared about pinching pennies. We don't know what he's going to do. What if he does go and spend $35 million in the portal, and we're like, oh damn, he spent that much money, and then we're going to be like, well, let's judge him now. He spent too much money. What are we going to do? We don't know.
No, that's why. Like my thing is, I feel like we're overreacting too quickly because we don't know what the game plan is. I have a weird feeling that we're not going to spend like. What's going to happen is we talk, we say this, and then they're going to say, well, we didn't spend that much. Well, we still don't know what the cost of these players are, but we're going to have to sign about probably 40 dudes, maybe. I don't know what the number is, but that's going to get expensive.
Yeah, they're going to get some guys. I mean, I don't know about 30 guys, maybe at least 25 out of the portal.
25?
And probably going to let some more offensive linemen go. Like when y'all did y'all's little board the other day, there was a lot of offensive linemen just taking up $200,000, and why are they getting $200,000 just for being on the roster?
The numbers aren't
I know they weren't, but
accurate, but yes, I understand.
That was a lot of linemen. I'm like, who are
17 of them? 17 of them. Yeah.
A lot of fluff there, Bob.
Do we need that many? And some of them are going to go, and we're going to get better ones, I feel like. So,
yeah. Well,
we're going to lose more. People are going to be freaking out when more people get in the portal. But
I think it gets a little bit it's going to get messier. Yeah, it's going to get messier.
Burn
I
it all
appreciate
down.
Big guy. Thanks for the
man.
call as always, Bubba. Be good, man.
All right.
Chris says pain is temporary. If you ain't a Gator, you're Gator bait. Absolutely, my man. Got high top of my ear and work to do. Best combo. It's great. It's a pretty good combo, Brett.
Yeah.
Vision Comedy, what's up, man?
What's up? Can you guys hear me all right?
Sound good. Crystal clear, baby.
Awesome. Yeah, no, first time, long time. I've been following you guys since probably 3,000 or 4,000, subscribed to you guys. So congrats on the 30K, on
Love
to 50K. So during my day job, I'm an attorney, and and I'm full-time Gator, obviously. But I liked what you had to say. We need longer and better contracts, and schools kind of need some uniformity. Like, these players unionize and get together, and they're like, oh, what's in your contract? What's in your contract? There's behind-the-doors talks, right? So the schools need to say, hey, we got you for 2 years, buddy, and you get a bonus if you play in a bowl game. I've always thought something like that, incentives in your contracts are good. And with dropping your sack, man, yeah, you can drop your sack, but some people have bigger sacks. You know, you might drop your sack, and then you look over, and Texas is dropping a bigger sack. And it just depends on whatever that guy's look. You know, hate the visual early in the morning, fellas, but LSU's got a hairy, big Louisiana one, and they're dropping it every single year.
Shelton's mom knows about mine.
Damn, Sheldon, you gonna let a Cody do that to you?
The guy's 4'7". He's not dropping anything. Okay, I'm not sweating at all.
I'll have to drop it far. Bob.
It's just more. It's more just a clunk.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a big, honestly, a big lesson to always go by in life is that there's always someone bigger. Okay, and the sooner you can accept that, the better off you're going to be. I can assure you. You try to chase that ladder.
My first
being
marriage,
the biggest,
I found that out.
Yeah, they're always out there. So you got to learn to drive your own ship the way it should be driven. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. And I do want to say, we did keep 2 cultural keystones. I mean, you keep Miles Graham, who's going to be a captain, and you keep VB3. Dude, these guys know what it means to be a Gator. They're what do you call it? Legacy Gators. So they pass that down through the locker room, and that infects the locker room in a good way, not a bad way. So I like those 2 keeps. Obviously, Woods is a tough loss, and to me, Mizell was a tough loss. I love what Mizell. I love his potential, and what we saw from him. I didn't think he got enough playing time, obviously.
Yeah, I do ask you this, and I asked Shelton this. This whole team has always been built on the word potential. When is it going to flip the switch where we know what we have?
Well, I mean, I think you saw it on the field with Mizell. I mean, he had the moves, dude. He was just a dynamic guy, quick twitch. Not Kadarius Toney like, but almost. Dude. I mean, he's faster than Kadarius, I think. So, with him, you saw it on the field, and he just. I mean, we were running. I'm about to just drop F-bombs all over the place because this pissed me off during the season. Run 5 wide sets with Hayden Hansen in a fucking slot position. What are we doing? What are we doing?
And then it just a set of a bubble screen the ball.
Yeah.
yeah. Get a big. I mean, Dallas Wilson can block. He's a big guy.
Yeah.
Sorry if I'm in your ear and I'm screaming, guys. I'm sorry, but
you're
you
good.
know how I feel. We commiserate together.
We were there. We were right there with you.
We watched every second of it. Okay, live at that.
Yeah.
With that being said, I think we are dropping our nutsack on Ball. I mean, he hadn't hit the portal yet. They went and talked to him. They sent the house. If you play NCAA, they sent the house on him several times.
Yep.
And you know,
that's my thing is that for what we have heard, for everybody that's hit the portal or is on the verge of, I don't feel like we've short stroked it by any stretch. I think if this was the old regime, if this was if Napier was still here, more would have probably walked. There's others that would have stayed, right? It's kind of, I feel like a catch-22 because guys I think were really committed to Napier would have just kind of took some, but there's some that weren't. So you're gonna have it was gonna happen in some sense, in my opinion.
I think people are really overlooking the big signees, and that's the interior of the defensive line, where we signed every big playmaker that we had. I mean, if you go down the list, Burrow, I know he went to the portal. He might circle back and come back, but he was kind of on the bottom echelon of those guys at that position. Like he was like number 4, and he went in the portal. We signed we signed McLeod. We signed Bet. I
haven't heard Bet.
Okay.
I thought we signed.
I just want to keep our spitters. We got to keep our spitters. They be spitting.
Yeah, I hear you.
Gotta let them know.
Yeah. And like Anthony's still upset. Like we've been saying, wait and see since Meyer. I mean, it is wait and see. I don't know what else. There's not much we can really do. We don't really control that. But
time machine.
Yeah, and in the sense of like, you know, I think for Florida fans, it's like, hey, I thought we were bigger. I don't know how to speak to that. I still respect our brand and feel that we're very powerful. I mean, we just won a basketball national championship. It's not like we're just not. I mean, again, the same thing. We went and spent a ton of money on the portal in basketball. And on Boogie Flan and Xavier Lee, and it's
starting to heat up there.
Starting to heat up, but they're playing me and you. So I don't know how much we could really write home about that. But the money is being spent. I don't believe that we're short stroking it by any stretch of the imagination. Again, elite is
Duke Clark and Trayon Webb are dogs too. Like if he does leave, I think Duke Clark's good, Trayon Webb's good, and we can find someone in the portal, like y'all said. Not too long ago.
Again, I would love to keep Ball with every ounce of me, but
me too.
If we're replacing, again, everybody was replaceable.
It's 1.5 million. I can go get dude with my GM cap on 1.5 million. I can go. Yeah, I can go heavy in the portal.
I mean, Ahmad Hardy from Mizzou. Like I said it yesterday, the guy was from ULM. The guy led the SEC. He's the highest rated back in PFF.
Gonna be a first round draft pick.
SEC schedule. Like with what? Bo Pribula at the quarterback. It wasn't like they got a ton of weapons everywhere. And that boy just ran the ball. He's got a gritty team.
Yep. Yeah. That a good O-line, too.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, no problem. I won't take up any more of your time. Miami beats Ohio State 17-14.
Wow.
Miami wins?
Miami wins.
Miami.
All right.
Bet the house.
Well,
Daniel. Come on. Don't you have donuts to sell?
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Listen. Those donuts make me rich. All right. So
do you donate to your collective?
Hell no. Yeah, exactly. Huh? Georgia ain't got a collective. They got Kirby Smart, and they know it.
You don't have a collective? For real, they don't have a collective?
Yeah, no. So
They do.
They
But
should have something. They should have something to bail out all them
dude,
players.
this is what people don't understand. Everyone's like, "Oh, like Georgia is just that should tell you something." Georgia
doesn't have a collective.
Money. They do, brother.
No,
But
they do. They do.
It's
what's it called? The dog pound? The
I don't
pound?
know. I know because when we had our Georgia channel, I talked to my Georgia buddy. He's like, "Yeah, the collective's a joke." Like, I don't know what it's called. They have one. I just don't know what it's called.
I'm looking it up.
Yeah. So one of the things like I'm hearing a lot is like, you know, spending all this money on individual players, and I mean, I get it. We know every big time university out there is spending money, right? But Kirby said it, and this is why Kirby has been the best coach in college football as of now. It's because he knows how to run a program in the sense of he said, "Hey, we ain't just giving bags. Like if you ain't coming here to get better and wanting to stay and play for the university, we're not. You can go. We're just gonna sign you up. Like if you want to hit the transfer portal or whatever, I'm gonna sign you. Go ahead." And that's what makes a difference. And the thing is, like you've seen Georgia's defense this year, even last year, it hasn't been the 2021 or 2022 defense. And of course, I don't think the 2021 defense nobody's ever going to be that defense. It's a generational defense. But you've seen him develop the defense. I mean, not him, but Glenn Schumann developed the defense to where it's at now. And I mean, you can ask any college football fan that, wow, you see night and day Georgia's defense from the beginning of the season till now. Like it's just the development is there when you have the right staff, like Shelton was saying earlier, the staff and the coaches. Like when you have that, man, like Kirby's not throwing bags at anybody. Like if you're gonna stay and play for the G, you're gonna stay and play for the G. I'm not saying he doesn't go out and spend money because he does, but he does it in a way where it's like if you're just here just to come get money, we're not gonna keep you. And I think that's kind of like with Ball. Like if you're gonna just give a guy money because his name and what he's done, I'm not minimizing what he's done as a running back, but
So it's kind of
like,
funny. I've got a Georgia fan at work, and like this is the exact same thing he says because clearly you guys all go to the Kirby Smart press conferences and TED Talks where he preaches this. And look, this is the mentality a lot of Florida fans have of like, hey, if you don't play for the logo, you can kick rocks, and that's there's that part of that is true. But that's why you have to go win football games, because when you win football games, you have that flexibility and you have that leverage of like, we have the proof is in the pudding. So what's your ultimate goal here, right? Like we don't mind spending it when it's right to be spent because Georgia's not being cheap. Let's not get it twisted. But are they going out there and spending? Because again, I can almost assure you when they got Trevor Etienne, it wasn't like they spent $1 million more for Trevor. They probably offered him the same amount as we did. They offered him. Well, they offered him probably more of a starting role.
And that's the thing with Kirby. I remember, I think it was last year or the other year before that. Like he tells these kids, like, listen, all you need is 1 year. Like if you think like you need all these years to let the scouts from the NFL look at you, he's like, no, you just need one good year. You know what I mean? So like Kirby is not just alumni from the University of Florida, but like that dude he's an amazing coach. Like forget the logo, he's just an amazing coach. And you see that off of like what when people are like, oh, Nick Saban, Kirby's coming from Nick Saban, but you're seeing that with other coaches that Kirby has on his staff, like Dan Lanning and stuff like that. And not all of them, but even like with Muschamp, like he's going to Texas defensive coordinator. Like that defense is going to be solid. It's just, and it has to be a consistent thing. And Kirby's always mentioned that too in his program. Like I think one of the things that's hurting Florida, it's not necessarily the players' fault. It's just there's so much turnover in coaches for the past 4 or 5 years, and so like you kind of have to understand kids' perspective of like we just don't know what we're gonna get out of a new coach every single time we get a new coach. So why stay? So it's not really their fault. So I think it does have to do with like what Summerall, like you just gotta wait. You gotta see what that first season looked like and just go with the punches.
Yep.
So
no doubt. I appreciate it, Daniel. Good luck selling some donuts today, man.
Y'all
Appreciate you as
y'all
always,
have a
big
good
guy.
one, man. High Top Sports, go Gators.
Yeah, man. Hell of a show, hell of a call-in show, man.
So-
Today was great.
Do you know what the UGA collective is called?
Pound Town?
The Classic City Collective. Do you know
Ugh.
what they're famous for? They sued a player for $390,000.
They sued a play.
Yeah, they're in a
the
lawsuit.
The
with
kid now,
Wilson.
right? Yeah,
that's the only thing they lost out on $390,000. They sued them.
Yeah. So do we talk about the schools that have underachieved for the amount of money spent? Yeah, us.
Texas this past year.
Wait, underachieved the money? Yeah. Underachieved.
Underachieved. No,
Well, that would be-
underachieved. Texas.
Yeah. That overachieved. I mean, Florida's in that category.
USC
is in that category. Michigan's in that category. Tennessee is in that category. Tennessee has spent a ton of money. I think that gets not looked at enough. Look, Texas Tech. I think what people and then they went and spent money, but it wasn't like they were bad before this. They were really good last year. They were one game away from being in the Big 12 championship, and they just went and spent. They had a precise decision on what they were going to go do and spent where they needed to go spend. And that was what they. And here's the thing too: people look at Georgia, right? I was thinking about this too, right? Like how their money is being allocated. Gunnar Stockton's not making $3 million.
No.
Nate Frazier's not making $1.5 million.
No.
Chauncey Bowman isn't making $1.5 million. So there's a core of their offense. Where their money went was to Zachariah Branch this year, which they needed to. They
had the worst
had
wide receiver room in the nation last year, and they
Yeah,
went and
their
fixed it.
Their O line wasn't anything to write home about. That was a big concern going into
Defensive
this year
line was
because
good.
defensive line
Linebackers.
solid. All of that all of those guys though are built through the draft and developed, like your Micah Brors, your Jeremiah McLeods. That's where their money was spent. They got a KJ Bolden that has been a good investment. Ellis Robinson was not a good investment. But when you start looking at these guys, it wasn't like they're, they have a ton of money that are just out. Like those guys aren't big flashy players. Like when you look at A&M, right, where all the money where they spent money, you can see it on the football field. But even there though, they're not. I mean, like Mario Craver and those guys. Like you take Mario Craver and put him on Florida, is he doing anything? No.
Hey, Rude Wayne, Texas, real fast. How's it feel to spend $40 million, overpay on a terrible quarterback? Oh, and
Penn State and Clemson are
you
phenomenal.
lost to a 4-8 Billy Napier team, bud. You lost to a 4-8 Billy Napier team.
Yeah, I think
You
that
loser.
was Texas of like how do you fire your defensive coordinator, you fire your running back coach, you cut the entire running back staff. Like clearly there was some and obviously there was the concern they wanted to fire Sark. They wanted to fire. They were done with him.
Yep.
You got to find that there's a sweet spot. I mean, even so, Ohio State, they're spending a ton of money, but I think what people misunderstand with Ohio State is that they're, in my opinion, they've got the hell of a formula.
When's Texas's last national championship?
3? 2?
Vince Young, right?
When was that? I was in middle school.
Yeah, so long you can't
5?
really remember. Okay, so you
5.
spend every year. You spend every year, and you're still not good. Like obviously, dumping a bunch of money into this thing doesn't always work.
Sure. Look, I get it. The money thing, I think you got to spend. Let's not. You can't play poor man. You can't play money ball. But there has to be. Look, I think if we're, and that's why I was
Texas A&M. They spent the last 7 years. They were spending money before you could spend money in the Jimbo Fisher era.
The Jimbo Fisher, yeah.
And they still couldn't win.
Yeah. I kind of hope Indiana wins.
This is why Ohio State continues to be pretty good, is because they spend money, but they also do a very good job of retaining players. You don't see a lot of Ohio State kids leaving, and they retain players, especially on the defensive side of the ball. They build the trenches. Those guys always stay, and they develop. That's why they're so good in it. Yes, they spend money, but they develop.
Yeah, and that's why I said Oregon has kind of been very underwhelming too, of how much they have spent and how little they've accomplished. Again, they got a Big Ten championship last year, which was massive in their first year. And USC, like let's not get it twisted. They spend a ton of. Again, there's for every example.
They've spent money every year that Lincoln Riley's been there.
We're saying that we spent a shit ton of money last year. We went 4-8.
Yeah.
And you got to think FSU. You think they're not spending money in the portal every year when they have to reflip their entire roster? I mean,
LSU spent a bunch of money too, and they fired their coach midseason, just like us. Yeah, spend it all.
You got to get a good coach. You got to get a good system in there. You've got to be able to. Because here's the thing too. Like again, we bring in good recruiting classes. Like I think about like Jordan Castell. Like think about the guys that were good early on or were supposed to be good. Like. And never really panned out. I mean, that's your problem.
90% of Florida's rosters never panned out. It's all been potential.
It has nothing to do with spend.
No. What is the last great player to come out of Florida? Great player.
Yeah, that's actually spot on. Yeah, like what?
Jonathan Grenard, Osiris Torrance.
I think that's. I mean, and look, Ricky P and DK have been really good in the NFL thus far.
Still young.
Point. Again, because Ricky P went first round, so that was huge. I wouldn't say. I mean, he was solid, but I mean, outside of that, there hasn't really been anything that. And Jason Marshall's looking good, but not great, right? To fall into that category.
I think that's. Bro, they didn't pan out.
Oh,
Trevor Etienne. Trevor Etienne went to Georgia. It got worse, dog.
No,
he got worse.
He's not great, but he's not great. He's not even playing. But I wouldn't count Jervon as the last 4 years. Kyle Pitts was too long. That was 5 years ago.
Kyle Pitts just now. Kyle Pitts. It took him 5 years to figure it out.
No, but when Kyle Pitts went to the league, though, that was a great draft pick, first round. Like that, his production necessarily hasn't been on him. But my point of it is that's not even part of the last 4 years. I'm talking about the last regiment of the 4 years of what we've had. Like Napier didn't put anybody into the league that was at that caliber. I think that's more so what we're
Gervon probably. Gervon's the best Gator in the league right now in this era. And Osiris Torrance.
Torrance is the only one that Billy can genuinely hang his hat on.
Yep. All the rest not very good.
Gardner's playing well. Yeah, but Elam hasn't really. I don't think lived up to that first round expectation. Towns is still putting, brother. Okay. Let's not sleep on the
punters
dog.
are people too. Henderson has not.
I'm not counting Pitts because he was pre. I'm talking just the Napier era. But even still, like okay, we can even put Pitts into it. But
Pitts didn't start getting. He wasn't good till this year. He was a bust. They were going to cut him.
I don't think they're ever going to cut him. But
Van Jefferson's been okay for the Rams. Kyle Trask. Don't say Kyle Trask. Kyle Trask hasn't done anything in the NFL. Jefferson
won a Super Bowl, yeah. And I think he caught a touchdown pass in the Super Bowl. But I wouldn't say he's been great. He's been good. I would say Gardner Johnson's pretty solid. I don't know if he's the best in the league right now. Yeah, Pitts was not a bust. That's a cold
probably Gervon Dexter and
he's mad about JJ.
Jonathan Grenard.
The bust in it. Well, so actually, I had a good conversation. Kyle Pitts was what, an eighth round draft pick or eighth pick in the first round, I think. Yeah. That's I mean, taking a tight end that high, right? Like a Brock Bowers-esque type. Kyle Pitts has lived up to the expectations. A lot of it has been more how they utilized him for the last couple of years. It's not like he's just been complete dog water floating around out there.
Yeah.
I don't think he was ever going to get cut.
I mean,
I don't think Cam Jackson's not playing much. Cam's good. He hasn't played. He's not even. Yeah. I actually checked him out the other day to see how he was doing.
Yeah. Okay. Name one. Gator through and through. Name a great Florida player in the NFL right now. There's not very many that has sustainability.
Kyle Pitts went fourth. Damn, that's crazy.
Kyle Pitts had one freak rookie year. Nobody's heard of him since, really, till this year.
Yeah, DK is solid. I wouldn't say he's great. It's way too early to put that tag on him personally. I wouldn't. Yeah, Pitts had 1,000 his rookie year. I don't know why the unnecessary Pitts hate. I think some of that has come from.
I don't hate. Why do you always say I hate people? I don't hate him. I'm just as fan of Pitts as everybody else. I'm just saying he hasn't lived up. He hasn't lived up to his expectation. That's a factual statement.
Evan McPherson's a dog too. I do. I can agree with that statement.
Grenard and Gervon Dexter are probably the two best. They're probably the two highest paid also.
What about Torrance and Gardner as well too?
Gardner's kind of bounced around. Gardner's good, but
he's getting older though too. That is a factor.
Yeah, it is a factor. I like Gardner.
But early in his career, he was a stud. I mean that does. Yeah, I mean, look Pitt. I think Pitt's got hurt in his second year because he only had 300 yards catching, which was definitely a dud. But yeah, he had that first breakout year as a rookie. Kyle Pitts did. Then he had 300 yards, 600 yards, and now he just hit 800 yards with 5 touchdowns. So this is, I would say, probably. I mean, he had 1,000 yards his first year, not as many touchdowns. So definitely not the. Again, I agree with your statement on the sense of a 4th round draft pick, but I mean, you can only do as much as what you're, the system that you're in, right? I think that has to be taken into consideration as well too. I don't think he's been. Alex Aslan from is he at the line? Is it the Lions linebacker?
Yeah,
Anzalone.
Yeah, he's linebacker. He's been nagged with injuries, but he's pretty solid.
He's a stud. Yeah, he's a stud.
He's always been nagged with injuries though. That was his deal at Florida.
But he's a grinder though. He's a grinder. Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's some. But again, I think
how many Georgia Bulldogs are good in the NFL though?
Yeah, that was more my sense of like the last 4 years. Because again, I'm not giving.
What have you done for me now?
Gervon or Javon?
Gervon Dexter.
Gervon Dexter. I'm not giving Nate credit for him. That was his first year. Was Gervon's last year?
Yeah.
So like the only person that from Florida that we put into the league.
We knew that Gervon was going to be a dude his freshman year.
The Torrance is the only one that I would give him credit for. So we haven't had any, and again, it's even hard to take credit for DK and Ricky, for being honest.
Yeah,
Ricky, I can take credit for Ricky. I can take credit for Ricky for sure. I mean, DK.
We didn't utilize him like that at Florida. He wouldn't put up those kind of numbers at Florida.
No, that's what he's saying, Lou. I'll go in the NFL, more Pro Bowls. That's what he's saying.
That's what I said, Uncle Lou. Open up your ears. I know it's early.
Cody, dude.
Golly, clean them things out,
brother.
Just gave you credit where credit's due, Uncle Lou.
Yeah, guys, Cody is on one. It's sad we don't have anything crazy in the NFL. Yeah, look, I mean, when you start thinking about it like that, man, like it's tough. Love you too, Lou. Nobody's giving Lou any flack here. Yeah, Cody, right, Ryan? Lately, I mean, he has been. Yeah, Richardson is tough. Richardson shouldn't have been drafted first overall. So that's. Oh, Ace Gator's back in, Cody. What's up, buddy?
Yo, y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Shit. So, hold on 1 second. Let me get my headphones on because I can't hear a damn thing.
Kind of like Uncle Lou.
Happy New Year,
Happy New Year, Uncle Lou. We still love you. Bet he knows who I am now.
No, probably not. Last caller, wrapping up, boys. Damian Pierce was cooking at Houston until that injury. He was playing well. Yeah, what's up, man?
All right, so I know my last point got cut off. So, I'm driving, so, I got to work. But, no, my last point was pretty much why are we so worried about these players that we're not retention, our retention rate and all that? Why are we not so worried about these players we're not keeping or we possibly might not be keeping based off of their salary, this, that, and the third, when we can pretty much, it's the same thing with Lagway, he didn't stay and it wasn't a money thing. So why are we so hung up on, say if Ball doesn't stay? I mean, which, don't get me wrong, he's a good player. By all means, he is. But I just don't understand, if these people don't want to put the work in, they don't want to have to compete for their position, I mean, it's still football. You can get paid all the money in the world you want, but You know, if they don't want to work for their position, then I say screw them. Let's go find somebody that does.
Yeah, and I think that's part of kind of what we were talking about too throughout the calls of like there seems to be a commonality of like, hey, like you're just not going to fit the culture we're trying to preach here too. Again, I think that until we see how these guys rock and roll in the portal, it's going to be hard to have a true grade and synopsis of what the staff is doing, and that's kind of been I would say the basis of the conversation today for sure.
Yeah, and I mean that it just kind of opens my eye. All these people saying like Napier 2.0, this, that, and the third. Well, I mean, Napier let some guys go, but he's not pretty much going in there and cleaning the house like Summerall is. You know,
Yeah,
Napier.
it's definitely been a different feel already, no question. Just by the staff hires, it's been a complete 180 in a good way. But again, it has to translate to the football field.
Right, and I mean, I just think that's a pat on the back for Summerall. I mean, the way he's going out there. I mean, yeah, you can be buddy with somebody, but when it comes down to the end of the day, you're the head coach. They have to respect you and they have to understand, like, hey, what I say goes. And I want you here and I want you to put that work in. But if you don't want to, sorry, man, I'll find somebody who does.
No doubt. Well, Ace, I appreciate you calling back in, man. We're gonna wrap it up here, but be good. Have a good rest of your day, Bubba.
Yeah, not a problem. Y'all have a good one. Go Gators, and keep it up.
Yes, sir. All right, boys. Another great show in the books. Cody the Prof, staying frosty. I can't hear the music. I don't know what's going on with my thing here today. I don't know if I broke it or what.
We hear it. That's all that matters.
I don't know. I like hearing it. Y'all be good. Be safe. Smash the like button. Subscribe. Until next time, boys. Peace and love, baby.